All right, hello, drivers out there. My name is Tandra, and I am from TSO Logistics. Today, we're going to talk about how your dispatcher actually can contribute to your mental health. All right, so let's just jump right in. So, your dispatcher's words could increase your stress hormone levels by 60%, give you high blood pressure, and potentially shorten your lifespan by 8 years. Government research proves that millions of drivers deal with this issue right now. I'm going to show you why your dispatcher relationship might actually be the most important factor in your driving career. The average owner operator dies at 55.7 years old. Union drivers, well, that age is 63 years old. That's almost 8 years difference. Now, you might think that this is just lifestyle, but research from National Institute for Occupational Health and Safety tells a different story. They studied over 1,600 drivers and found that 27% of them are dealing with depression. That's 4 times higher than the general population. 73% of drivers say that their deadlines are unrealistically tight. But here's the kicker. It's not just the deadlines that are killing the drivers. It's how the deadlines are communicated. Scientists actually measured what happens to your body when drivers communicate with toxic communication. They tracked drivers' saliva every 15 minutes during their shift, and they found something alarming. Negative dispatcher interactions spike your cortisol levels by 50 to 60%. That's your stress hormone going through the roof. These hormone spikes affect your sleep, your blood pressure, and your heart rate. Research shows that when dispatchers transmit anger through their communication, it literally spreads to you like a virus. They call it emotional contagion, and it's creating a mental health crisis for our industry. Here's what toxic dispatcher communication looks like: memory manipulation, saying that they didn't tell you certain things even though you actually have it written down on paper. Information withholding, not giving you all the elements of a load and all the details that you need. Blame shifting, trying to make you believe that everything is your fault or that it's not theirs. Verbal abuse over the radio where everybody can hear. This stress doesn't just stay with you during your shift. Study shows that these hormone spikes don't adjust during your off time, meaning you're carrying around this stress 24/7. Stay Metrics analyzed data from over 62,000 drivers and found that drivers with bad dispatcher relationships have a 16% higher turnover rate in the first 90 days. Chronic stress from poor workplace communication is linked to heart disease, diabetes, and shortened lifespan. 83% of US workers suffer from work-related stress, and dispatchers are a huge part of that. You're already dealing with weather, traffic, issues with your vehicle, and tight schedules. The last thing you need is a dispatcher adding to your stress instead of helping you manage it. Companies that fix their communication problems see massive increases in worker production and performance. Liquid Trucking actually reduced their turnover rate from 68% to 24% in just 4 years by improving dispatcher communication. Milton Truck Lines hit 89% driver retention in 30 days just by implementing feedback systems. So, what should you look for in a good dispatcher relationship? First, transparency. Your dispatcher should share route information proactively, give you complete load details up front, and explain their reasoning when changes happen. Second, respect. They should use your name, acknowledge your expertise, ask for your input on routes that you know, and publicly recognize good performance. Third, responsiveness. Research shows that optimal response times is within 15 minutes of you reaching out. Status updates every 2 to 4 hours, and immediate response to your calls within 30 minutes max. And fourth, psychological safety. You should feel comfortable raising concerns without fear of retaliation or being thrown under the bus. You need to protect your mental health and realize when dispatcher communication crosses from healthy to harmful. Your body is literally keeping score of every negative interaction. Life is too short to let toxic communication steal years from your life. You deserve to work with dispatchers that treat you as a business partner. At TSO Logistics LLC, we've created our company specifically to address this disrespect and lack of partnership that is rampant in this industry. Because we believe that every driver deserves to work with a dispatcher who supports their success, not stress them into an early grave. Remember, the difference between a good dispatcher and a bad dispatcher is communication and respect. Don't let anyone convince you that toxic communication is just a part of the job. You're essential workers that are keeping America moving. You deserve respect, transparency, and communication that builds you up and not put you down. Stay safe out there and remember that your mental health matters more than any load. I provided all links to my research in the description below.